All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's definitely been a while since I posted anything on here. I've done a little bit of work on the car here and there, but I've just been so preoccupied with work and just summer and things like that. I didn't really get to make as much content as I wanted to. But today I'm gonna throw you guys an absolute gem of a tip. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that do know this, but I believe that there's a good portion that don't. So hopefully this is helpful for someone. I'm gonna show you how to improve the gas mileage on these cars, which is notoriously hit or miss. So right now you can see my average fuel is 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Honestly, I get closer to 13.5 up to 14, but I just went for like a quick rip on the way home. So obviously that number changed, but I'm gonna show you guys just a couple simple things I did that significantly increased my gas mileage. All right, guys, so the first thing that I did here that made a huge impact on my gas mileage was I changed the PCV valve. So it's located obviously behind this hose, and you can obviously kind of see from the bolt that you screw it in with, it's a newer one. So that has been on this car since I got it. It's 280,000 kilometers. When I took it off, you could see how much gunk was just stuck inside of it. Chances are that valve isn't even opening and closing properly. And the hose I had here was also collapsed. Like, you could just see how like weak and brittle the rubber got. So I used a piece of braided hose just temporarily, because I actually bought a catch can, an oil catch can that I plan on mounting. But I didn't want to mount it on this side. I just felt like it was gonna be too messy. My plan was to mount it all the way over there, along the outside wall, but I needed way bigger hose and I got to run it all the way underneath. So just temporarily I figured, you know what, let me make use of this hose. Changing the hose and the PCV valve, huge difference. Another thing that potentially can help with the gas mileage, but it might not depending on how you drive, was making this DIY short ram intake. So all I did here was take out the stock air box. I didn't even completely take it all out. You can obviously see there. I threw a K&N filter on there. I connected it to the stock intake arm with a piece of PVC pipe that I just picked up at like a Home Depot, I think it was. And yeah, this was just like a temporary setup, but it's honestly been amazing. The hose itself here that I have is kind of cracked, so I just used some electrical tape to like doctor it up temporarily as I was testing this out, and honestly it's held up. Eventually I plan on getting a new intake arm, but it's hard to come across an OEM one at a reasonable price, and a lot of the ones, like I bought multiple ones off Amazon that just simply don't fit. A lot of people mention that you can use a heat gun and stretch it to fit it over the throttle body. I just didn't want to do all that. I want it to be a complete form fit, because next thing you know, you're compromising the strength of the rubber, and then I don't want to deal with it cracking later on. Like when I change it, I want to change it one time and just be done with it. So for now, this is holding it down, and I've noticed a big improvement in my gas mileage even before I changed the PCV valve, with just updating the intake arm. And it's just the airflow is better to the engine. If you are putting it down, obviously the throttle opening up, you're going to be using a lot more gas without question, but it definitely just drives way better and it sounds way better. Like this thing sounds 10 times meaner just having that K&N filter on there. And especially when you put it down and you actually hit VTEC, like it sounds nice. So performance aside, even if there was no added performance, I would still do it. I personally think that's one of the easiest mods you could do. You could obviously buy a short ram intake, you could get a cold air, but the thing I like about the stock intake arm is that it's tapered. So it goes from a 3.5 inch here down to a 3, I believe. And it just, the way it draws the airflow in is just more efficient, in my opinion. I noticed a lot of the short ram intakes that I came across were just straight up 3 inches through. So I don't think it's a significant difference, but I just like the fact that it does taper down. And I think the throttle's a little bit more steady that way. So yeah, just a couple quick mods that I think could really help improve your gas mileage. If you guys want me to do an actual tutorial on how to change that PCV valve, I will do it. It is pretty straightforward, but just drop a comment down below. Let me know if that's something you want to see. and stay tuned for more content. I plan on dropping a lot more videos for you guys, hopefully before it gets too cold here. But if you did find this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel. I got a lot more content on the way.